My boss fired me, so I took his master's and PhD title. So I worked for this guy named Brett who was only rich because his grandparents owned like half the commercial real estate downtown. This dude had zero clue how to run a business. I'm talking he once spent $40,000 on office chairs that didn't even fit through the doorways. We had to sell them at a loss on Facebook Marketplace. Another time he approved a marketing campaign that was just his face photoshopped onto a bunch of stock photos. We got sued for using those images without a license. Cost the company like $60,000 to settle. But here's the thing. He had unlimited money from his trust fund, so he just kept screwing up and burning cash like it was nothing. Meanwhile, I was the operations manager basically holding the whole company together with duct tape and prayer. Every single day he'd come in with some new brilliant idea that would bankrupt us in a week. I'd have to be like, yeah, that's not gonna work, and explain why in simple terms a fifth grader could understand. He hated that. Called me negative. Said I wasn't a team player. But the real issue was, I made him look stupid in front of the other employees because I had to constantly shoot down his terrible plans. Like one time he wanted to expand into selling furniture even though we were a consulting firm. Made 0 sense. I told him no, and he got so mad he didn't talk to me for 3 days. The guy would also never stop bragging about his education. He had a master's and PhD in economics from this decent university, and he brought it up constantly. His email signature was like 4 lines long with all his titles. Dr. Brett this and Dr. Brett that. Every meeting he'd reference his dissertation or some theory he supposedly studied. It was exhausting. So one day he calls me into his office and fires me. Says the company is going in a new direction and my negative attitude isn't aligned with the vision. I'm like, what vision? You don't even know what we do here. But whatever. I took my severance and left. I was pretty bitter about it for a few weeks. Then I'm sitting at home one night scrolling through stuff and I remember thinking, there's no way this moron actually earned those degrees. He was way too stupid. Like genuinely could not understand basic spreadsheets. So I decide to look up his thesis papers just out of curiosity. I go to the university library website and they have digital copies of old theses. I download his master's thesis first. It's from 1984. I start reading and immediately on page 2, there's this whole paragraph about economic theory that sounds way too smart for him. So I copy the sentence and Google it. Boom. It's word for word from a textbook published in 1979. No citation, no quotation marks, nothing. I keep reading and find another paragraph that's copied, then another. I spent like an hour going through this thing and found 12 separate passages he straight up plagiarized. Some were from textbooks, some were from other theses. One was from a newspaper article, all of it uncited. Then I check his PhD dissertation. It's longer so I don't read the whole thing, but within 20 minutes I find 2 massive sections that are copied from academic journals. We're talking full pages of text. This guy just Control-C, Control-V'd his way to a doctorate. Now I'm sitting there with screenshots of everything. The plagiarized text, the original sources, publication dates, page numbers, all of it. I put together this whole document with side-by-side comparisons. Took me about 3 hours total. I create a burner email account and send everything to the university's academic integrity office. I don't sign my name or anything, just say I'm a concerned citizen who noticed these irregularities. I attach all the evidence and hit send. Then I just wait. I don't tell anyone. I don't check in with the university. I just go on with my life and start looking for a new job. About 14 months later, I run into Kyle, who still works at the company. We grab coffee and he's like, dude, you're not gonna believe what happened. Apparently, Brett lost his mind a few weeks ago, started screaming at everyone, locked himself in his office for 2 days. Kyle had no idea why. So I ask around with a few other people I know there. Turns out the university contacted Brett and told him they were investigating his thesis papers after receiving an anonymous tip. They found the plagiarism and revoked both degrees. Completely stripped his credentials. He's no longer Dr. Brett. He's just regular Brett with a rich grandpa. The best part is he had to change all his business cards and his email signature and the company website. Everything that said he had a master's and PhD had to be updated. And apparently he was going absolutely nuclear trying to figure out who reported him. He suspected everyone. Accused like 5 different people. Never figured out it was me.